There, my name is Bill Corcoran, and I want to talk to you about how excited we all are about adding the shell and tube heat exchanger repairs to our offered services at Collins. With the recent publication that we saw on LinkedIn by Tony Wall, we wanted to also pass on additional information to our sales team. I've had about 25 years of experience repairing heat exchangers, shell and tube, prior to Collins. It was mostly from a management perspective, also in sales and quoting, buying the tooling that is needed and in kind of supervising the repairs. Haven't actually done it all like many of us. I don't actually do the work, although I have been in the field over the years, rigging and rigging in, rigging out, working on the valves with the valve repair companies and heat exchangers to a degree. But in any event, I can tell you that heat exchangers are very profitable and great for shop and field work. Uh, Heat exchangers are in many ways found in hospitals, colleges, paper mills, many places. They can be small, tiny, not economical to retube probably. They can be medium size, large, and really huge. We work primarily and focus on the shell and tube heat exchangers, not condensers. Just like the words shell and tube indicate, that's what comprises the heat exchanger shell and tube type. Tubes on the interior with a shell on the outside. The shell forms a pressure barrier similar to a body casting of a valve, holding and containing pressures inside along with the moving internal parts like a stem or a gate in a valve. And the body would be the shell. The shells are mostly categorized as unfired pressure vessels and are manufactured by use stamp holders. You have to hold a use stamp. All the criteria through the National Board is required. The shell is normally ASME coated plate, rolled and welded and tested per ASME requirements. After it's made, the shell is made, it is tested. At each end, or at least one end of the shell, there are normally hemispherical heads that are welded to the shell circumferentially all the way around. And the shell and tube exchangers also include heat exchanger heads, which are typically a cast or fabricated item that allows the media in and out of the heat exchanger. We compare the head to a valve bonnet connected by a gasket joint to the shell. The head must be removed in order to access and remove the inserted tube bundle. The tube bundles are either U-tube or straight tube bundles. The tube bundle is the most often repaired item in the heat exchanger. The tube bundles are either retubed or replaced with new. They can be replaced, copied, if you will, mostly under and when there are time constraints, such as long OEM deliveries or original OEMs being out of business. Most importantly, obtaining the nameplate info on the exchanger is imperative. This will provide the OEM, the year made, national board number, and other pertinent information. We will submit this information to the national board in Ohio and receive all the critical information needed, like materials, tube material, info such as diameter of the tubes, the gauge, thickness of the tube, 32nd, 16th, copper, Cooper nickel, Admiralty brass material, whatever it may be, and for the service the customer originally had it ordered for. And during outages, we have retubed that existing bundle as well as possibly take dimensions from the bundle, and then we'll have the information in order to make a spare at another time. So the customer should never ever throw the bundle away. It's money in the bank for them. Because we indicate that tube bundles require the most attention does not rule out the importance of the heat exchanger head and shell, those components. They both have to be addressed as well, just like a body and a bonnet on a valve. The similarity is that they both are bolted to each other. They require acceptable gasket finishes for proper gasket sealing, and should be cleaned and checked for integrity as they are a pressure boundary. As a result, the shell and the head should be cleaned, gasket surfaces checked, and the integrity of the component verified, as it's a pressure boundary. We can offer to do that service for the customer, but keep in mind, if you retube a tube bundle and you do not check the head, the customer could be indeed, if nothing's done, putting back in service a poor gasket joint on a head that will not seal to the newly retubed bundle. And that does nobody any good. So these are the critical points to keep in mind. And in most situations, the head to body gaskets and fasteners have to be checked out and replaced. Most of the time we do replace them. Now this will conclude part 1 as an overview of the shell and tube heat exchanger. We will continue on to further information on field observations and discussions that you should be having with your customer, at the onset. And I will be giving you or showing you some charts, and I will send them and make sure that all of the salespeople have charts for field measurement, for tube bundles, straight or U-tube, forms that we have for them. And we'll provide more information as we go along. But this is our kickoff video just to get things going, and I hope that it's been or will be informative.